I'm Orion the New God. I'm not the CEO of DC Studios. For any legal purposes, this is not a real film release slate or announcement. As many of you know, DC has been extremely open to creators taking on our characters with their own initiatives, and we very much enjoy the celebration of character that those projects have been in the past. As the new leading producer of DC Studios, my job is to make sure that moving forward, DC films are cohesive and clear. I and my partners here at DC have gotten extremely lucky to oversee the release of the final phase of what has been dubbed the DCEU: Shazam! Fury of the Gods, Blue Beetle, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and The Flash. Each of these films is a wonderful celebration with characters, and I hope that all of you are just as pleased to see them as I was. To move into our future plans, The Flash is not only a beautiful film, but a final celebration of all that came before. The Flash will serve as a shifting point to our new, connected DC Universe. In addition to our DC Universe films that will all live in the same world, we've created a separate label for creators to explore characters without the need to connect to a larger universe. These Black Label films will include the Joker films from Todd Phillips, the Batman series from Matt Reeves, and the Constantine films starring Keanu Reeves. So, to reiterate, DC Studios will release films of two categories: DC Universe films, where each film serves a larger continuity, and the DC Black Label films, that are individual stories, usually focusing on the study of singular characters. So, with that, allow me to present our plans for the future of DC Studios. Joker, Folie à Deux, is a DC Black Label film, the sequel to Todd Phillips' 2019 film Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix. Joker, Folie à Deux is a deep exploration of mental illness and societal failures within Gotham. We have some exciting additions to the cast that I can't wait for you all to see. Joker, Folie à Deux will release fall of 2024. Next is the true beginning of our DC universe, and the first step to an overarching story that unites the greatest heroes ever known. Superman Unbound is the introduction to our universe's Superman, in which he thinks he understands his powers, but soon realizes that his experiences growing up in a small town and even metropolis are nothing in comparison to the struggle of his first real threat. Superman Unbound will release in the summer of 2025. Returning to our Black Label films, the following film is The Batman, Grim Ferrodin, the sequel to Matt Reeves' 2022 film starring Robert Pattinson. We will see Gotham descend into even more madness as the film continues directly from the events of The Batman, in which the city is scarred by Riddler's schemes. Amid an already devastated city, the Batman must face a new and unique threat. The Batman, Grim Ferrodin, will release in fall of 2025. Wonder Woman, Paradise Lost, is a DC Universe film that will show Wonder Woman's struggles against the existing powers on Themyscira because of her first attempt to leave her isolationist home. Wonder Woman, Paradise Lost, is scheduled for release summer of 2026. Constantine, Immortalis, is a Black Label film I'm extremely excited to announce today, as it will be the return of Keanu Reeves playing the role of Constantine the Hellblazer, made famous in Francis Lawrence's 2005 film. Constantine Immortalis is scheduled for release in fall of 2026. Booster Gold, The Authority, is a DC Universe film that is the culmination of a passion project of mine. Booster Gold is a regular guy and a fan of superheroes just like us. He comes from the future and uses his technology to come back to the present day and become a superhero himself. Here, we will see him face a team of superpowered individuals who call themselves the Authority. They believe they know how best to save the world, and that's by any means necessary. Booster Gold, The Authority, is scheduled to release early to mid-2027. Batman, Dark Victory, is the introduction of the DC Universe's Batman. Here, we will see Batman forced to take on something he never expected: fatherhood. Batman takes it upon himself to help a young boy named Richard Grayson after he sees a glimmer of himself in Grayson's suffering. Batman, Dark Victory, is scheduled for release mid to late 2027. So with that set of 7 projects leading us into late 2027, we reach the first half of Chapter 1 for both our Black Label films and DC Universe films. Now, because our DC Universe films are part of an overarching narrative, we've decided to refer to this Chapter 1 DC Universe storyline as Gods and Monsters. It's been a pleasure to share our ideas with you and to take this opportunity to establish a clarity in goal and motivation for each project we plan to release in the following years. I would like to say for myself that I am extremely grateful for the opportunity to lead the charge here at DC Studios, and will make it my duty to deliver the best stories I can in collaboration with the best creators in the world. I would like to mention that we also have plans to continue working on delivering in-home experiences, such as our collaborations with HBO. Our upcoming series Gotham Unknown, starring Colin Farrell, directed by Matt Reeves himself, is an example of how we plan to supplement stories in both our DC Black Label and DC Universe through our valued partnership with HBO. Thank you all so much for showing such love and interest in these characters. I promise to you all that I am doing my best to see that these characters are appreciated as they should be, and to bring creators in that have a genuine passion to create personal stories through the most constructive process possible, collaboration. Finally, thank you for your time. It is at this point in my announcement that some of our team advised that we shouldn't share the rest of our Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters DC Universe, because of the risk of spoiling too much. However, I have decided that we owe our fans a lot, so I'm happy to share with you the completion of our plans for both our Chapter 1 DC Black Label films and DC Universe Gods and Monsters. Swamp Thing is a Black Label project that will focus on Alex Holland, a biologist and environmental activist that, incidentally, transforms himself into the creature known as Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is expected for release late 2027. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, is a DC Universe film which will follow the experiences of Kara Zor-El after growing up alone on the devastated remains of Krypton. Because of her solitude and seeing so many around her perish, she is a much more jaded character than Superman. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, is expected for release in mid-2028. The Sandman is a Black Label film that will follow the journey of Morpheus, the personification of dreaming. He will face his otherworldly family connections. The Sandman is planned for release in late 2028. Lantern's Prophecy is an extremely key point in our DC Universe story. Here, we focus on Lantern's Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, a couple of galactic cops that watch over Earth and face the first signs of a larger threat to the planet. Lantern's Prophecy is planned for release mid-2029. The Batman, Memento Mori, is the finale to Matt Reeves' Black Label trilogy. This film, while still in early development, is shaping up to be an incredible culmination of all the dark themes and characters set up in Reeves' previous films. The Batman, Memento Mori, is planned for release in 2029. The final film of our DC Universe phase we call Gods and Monsters is Justice League Omega War. Here, all the characters introduced in the previously mentioned DC Universe films will unite against a galactic threat. Some new characters may join in the struggle, as this amalgamation of storylines ultimately pulls from the Justice League's first unification and the incredible storyline from Tom King, the Omega Man. The new DC Universe's Justice League will be in theaters in 2030. So with that, I've revealed all our plans for our Chapter 1 of DC Black Label films and DC Universe Gods and Monsters.